Okay, so this is Ben and I playing. I'm the Beastmen. He's the Wood Elves. He's been playing as the Wood Elves pretty frequently, trying to get better at them. We've been trying to focus on a faction or two and really ramp up how we're doing that. I'm going to pause this immediately because I just about vanguarded my entire army and it ends up starting really quickly. So to start with, I am the Beastman. Like I said, I have Ungor's Spearmen with shields. I got three of them, one super far vanguard on the left flank, and then I've got these two here. And then I've got a front row of these Ungor herd, which are just their cheap, like, axemen. They're really fast and they stalk. So do the spearmen. They stalk and they're pretty fast. And then I've got another one of these Ungor herd on the right flank. I've got mirrored on both sides. I've got these Chaos Poison Warhounds and Centaurs. They're just a normal melee. And let's see, I also have, here we go, all the way across the other way. I have these Centaurs with throwing axes. They are my only missile units in this, which is actually kind of rare. I usually bring a whole bunch of raiders because they're so good. And then I actually have some decent infantry with these Gore herds. They're not the best infantry that the Beastmen have, but they're really pretty good, solid. I have the Butchers of Kalkangar, which are a Minotaurs with shields, and they regenerate really, really good. And then Mortar, which is basically the only reasonable lord for the Beastmen, and he's the only one who's actually worth anything. And then I've got a Brave Shaman of Shadows on a chariot. I believe that's my entire army. For Ben, he has two Sisters of Thorn. These are their kind of elite missile units, missile cav. They're pretty fast. They've got really good stats. Oh, and they have poison too. And let's see, he's got a couple of these glaive riders, which with spears. An eagle, great eagle. And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Eternal Guard. I think 2 are with shields, 3 are without, and this one is the ROR. He's got the Sisters of Thorn up on their dragon. And he's got the Firebark Elders, which are a treekin unit who, instead of being weak to fire because they're wood, they're actually on fire and therefore imbue fire damage and are actually resistant to it and I think magic damage. He's got a Spell Singer of Life, which is a good pick, and yeah, that's the Winterheart Guard. And yeah, there's the other Glade Rider with spears. So let's go ahead and start it. As this starts, I think I'm kind of just figuring out what's going on, but then I see that he's advancing with these Glade Riders, and then I decide to nope out of there and actually trade in with my Centaurs and Poison Hounds. They'll win that, and then I use my Ungors to stop his spears from getting in there and helping with that. He starts pressuring me with his Sisters of Thorn, getting some pretty good damage in there. He's going to have this bastion here in the forest with those 3 units. It's actually a really good idea. Yeah, so, and basically come up with my Centaurs and throwing axes, and I think I start to look to throw into those Sisters of Thorn, which I don't think I end up getting much out of that. But at this point, since he's got a much smaller army than me, I can outflank him. And ooh, I just missed a pendulum there that broke off those spearmen. And then trying to save these spearmen here, he's got Shield of Thorns, but I throw down an enfeebling foe and run in with my Minotaurs. They'll do really well there. Throw in some Ungor herds into this blob. I didn't realize the spears were there, and I immediately follow up with my Gore herd. Oh, he gets a really good breath attack. Usually you kind of want to wait for the unit to be stopped to get those breath attacks. Over here I got some spears into his blade riders with spears, which is doing well. I think my throwing axes should be hitting the sisters, but they're wasting them on that cheap light cav unit. I'm kind of posturing over to the right flank, getting ready to find out why I'm attacking. He drops in his eagle, and I think after my caster, but I've got plenty of infantry there to run through. And also, once these spears broke, I decided to get my Butchers of Kalkin Guard out of there and try to find somewhere else to put them. I'm trying to avoid the Firebark Elders. Oh, I drop a Chaos Summon on top of these things. I'm trying to avoid the Fire Tree Kin people with my Butchers because they're actually weak to fire due to regeneration. Oh, and this is also kind of sucky. Mortar has a ability, so he has a point and click Chaos Spawn summon, which is really good. But then he has this one that basically, when an enemy unit gets below 25%, it actually basically kills that unit and turns them into a Chaos Spawn, which is really awesome. But because I didn't do this, I was microwaving everywhere because Beastmen, it was I didn't realize they were there. I basically just let them sit there. He's got his eagle fighting my minotaurs, or trying to get to the score her and probably scare them off. But these minotaurs are right where they want. They'll do a lot of damage to that single entity. What else do we got going on here? We break off a lot of his spears. Ooh, and I'm going to get a nice pendulum here. It's going to just about finish off those spearmen. Yeah, I keep lobbing stuff into here, but that's going to be a tough nut to crack there. Crapping out on my micro there. Here we got my Centaurs. Ooh, nice shot. I'm just kind of posturing around this blob here, trying to figure out what I want to do. Because those Fireborn Elders, or whatever they are, the Fire Tree Kin, are going to stay for a while. I'm kind of, again, just lining up. We'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit here. I think I'm about to break that eagle. Yeah, that eagle's taking some massive damage, but he gets him out of there. My Chaos Spawns wear off, so it brings the balance of power back to the middle. I've got his things surrounded here. Let's see here. Got my throwing axes. I should have been focusing the throwing axes on the Sisters of Twilight here this entire time, but I kept thinking that was going to do well against those Sisters of Thorn, but it wasn't. Again, still just kind of posturing, trying to figure out how I want to break this center pocket, keeping the Butchers of Kalkandagar out of there as much as possible. Honestly, I think Ben would have been better off. He has the Sisters on that spray mode, which is anti-infantry, but the other one is anti-large. He probably should have been firing at the Butchers of Kalkangar the entire time, because I think their anti-large shots are powerful enough that it's, one shot might take out a model, and because they regenerate, if you don't take out the model, they're just going to regenerate all that health back. So, maybe just for future reference. But, it's doing a lot of damage to my infantry, but I've just got loads and loads of cheap infantry, so it's not the best trade. He charges into my Ungor herd, and then I collapse in on his Sisters of Thorn with my Butchers of Kalkangard and my Centaurs. I enfeeble foe him, which brings down his melee defense and attack, makes them really weak. That'll just about finish them off. He's being really slippery with his eagle. One thing about flying units, if you land with them and they keep getting attacked, it doesn't it's going to not be able to get up in the air. And at this point, I'm again still trying to figure out how to break this blob here, and I'm also waiting for his dragon to get engaged on the ground, because I know if I can finish off the Sisters of Thorn, then this game is going to be just about over. Do get his eagle trapped up with these poison hounds that are going to slow it even further. He drops down, and I'm like immediately like, jump in, everyone! So I get the butchers and Falcon Guard. I get them onto there. I get my poison hounds in there again just to keep the sisters down on the ground. I got like a full surround. So this is really working out real well with me. It's their HP is just dropping. But then he has a really good play here. He has these Sisters of Thorn coming back, so he's going to run them in there. Oh, and Earthblood to help her. But then once they're in, then he's got an avenue to run her out, these sisters out, so that she can get back in the air. That's going to save him, save the game for him for now. I've got all kinds of units all over the periphery. I think they were chasing units off, so I needed to get better at bringing them in. So he's back up in the air, and we're going to fast forward a little bit, and still just posturing. I saw him like really didn't have a good opportunity to like break these down, so I was kind of like just waiting to figure out what to do, get a full surround on, keep chasing off the Sisters of Thorn. And then he charges in with his Firebark Elders, and I basically have Mortar there, and he regenerates, and he will just tank all of that damage. And they don't have the highest damage output. But I also got my Gore Herd in there, so they'll do okay. But he drops down with the Dragon again, and immediately pulls out. So he got the charge bonus on, and then immediately gets out, trying to get out to safety. Again, I'm on him with my Centaurs, but this isn't going to last very long. He's got his Sisters of Thorn there protecting him again, routes off my Centaurs, and again pulls through his troops to get back up in the air. It's a really good play. Basically, his only pocket is here. He's got some stuff coming back. A healthy Sisters of Thorn, which is fighting Spearmen. It's not really where it wants to be. And then he's got more stuff coming in. But this is where I, again, just leave a couple of units here fighting these Firebark Elders and start focusing on things on the outside. And just waiting for his dragon to come back down. Do have the throwing axes finally firing at the dragon. That's good. And immediately enfeebling foe it. And I'm just trying to get everything, whatever I can on it, but I have a lot that's breaking off, so it's basically just the Centaurs at this point. My casters kind of gain damage, but holding up these Sisters of Thorn. I think I'm about out of magic at this point, and I couldn't get the Centaurs on the dragon. So in this fight, again, I put the Butchers of Falcon Guard on these Firebark Elders, which was a bad idea, except for the fact that the rear charge broke him, which was nice. And then at this point, he's basically got to dive in, and it's almost over here. We'll get some cinematic shots. Butchers of Falcon Guard fighting on top of it, and this is a good place for me. I've got Centaurs and these Butchers here. It's just so much mass, the dragon can't get out. And these Winter Guard they've got one unit left. They're done. And we just gotta wait for the Unbreakable Spearmen to die, the one model. So that was a really good game. It was a lot closer than it felt in the fighting. I knew I had a lot of troops on, but that center mass, it just couldn't feel like I was going to break it. It just kept tearing up everything I sent at it. Caster did really well. I got 2 really good pendulums on Spearmen, and then the Enfeebling Foe, which you don't get to see the damage value from that, but that basically a number of units was the reason why they got destroyed. These axes, they were just there to hold and do a little bit of damage, some poke. And they're all super cheap, so that's good. That is not a good 367 on these. I think they cost 600, maybe 700. Yeah, neither of them paid for themselves. I honestly could have probably cut one of them and just brought more Centaurs. The Centaurs did pretty good. One of them did for sure. The axes, yeah, definitely paid for themselves. That's the damage. Probably on the sisters, I guess, but I think it did a lot to the Sisters of Twilight too. Poison Hounds were just good just because they helped slow down the dragon and the Butchers of Kalkengard. They almost always pay for themselves. They're a really good unit. And let's see, Sisters of Twilight. Yeah, that's definitely. I don't know if it paid for her, but you gotta bring a Lord. But that's still really good. And 273 kills is nothing to gawk at. See, the Life Caster wasn't going to do much, but heal. There were some really good heals going on. And yeah, the Spearman is just there to hold. These Winter Guard though, like they were clutch. They did pretty good damage. I don't know if they paid for themselves, but just having the Firebark Elders sitting on top of them, like that made them almost unbreakable. The Glade Riders kind of got caught out, especially the one that was over there on the right flank. Sisters of Spillarn, yeah, they did pretty good. I think they paid for themselves. I think they're around 1100. Um, the Eagle, not so much. I'm not a big fan of the Eagle. Like, they don't have much else as far as like monsters to bring, so maybe an Eagle is the best you can do, but maybe just more Cav. And then yeah, the Firebark Elders were legit. That was a good game. Let's see, what's next? Oh, let's do the Greenskins and Vampirates. So this is I would brought a build that I had tried earlier against his Skaven. I modified it a bit, but this is you'll see. And load. Yeah, we're gonna pause because again, it's another Vanguard. Uh, let's start with his side. I didn't get to see too much of it because it was Vanguard means like you have to start immediately. So he brought a bunch of zombie pirates, deckhand hand mobs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got these pole arms. They're the deckhand mobs with pole arms. I think it's yeah, two of them. He's got two handguns, which these are the rifle ones, so they have the range and the armor piercing. Uh, awesome looking units. He's got uh, Direfin on foot. I guess if you're trying to make her cheap, that's a good way to go. She has a Leviathan, a giant crab, which is also really good. He's got Queen Bess, which is basically you're either going to win or you're going to lose because of this thing. He's got the Necrofex Colossus. It's the Gallows Giant, the ROR. Instead of having a cannon, it has a flamethrower and a gunnery white. He's got these animated hulks, which they're kind of just monstrous infantry. They're not the greatest, but they're cheap and they have a lot of mass. So I mean, they have their uses. And he's got one scurvy dog. I believe it's just the one. And oh yeah, and then two bombers, which these can probably do a lot of damage. For my side, because I'm all Vanguard, I brought uh, three Night Goblin archers, two of which are fanatics, and one is the Rusty Errors. I've got Night Goblins all the way, a line of Night Goblins, four of them, one of which is the 8 Peak Loonies, the ROR. They're unbreakable. I've got two Savage Orc Biggins, which are awesome. Anti-large, physical resistance, immune to psychology while their frenzy is active. I got Warzag on foot, which I brought Effigy of the Git. I brought Foot of Gork, Fist of Gork, which I didn't use at all during this, spoiler alerts, and Brainbursta. And then I got River Troll Hag for more. She's got this Power Stone, which gives more magic, Mither, Spirit Leech, and this improved charge rate. It's while I'm casting. That's going to help too. And yeah, there's more Biggins over here. And then I've got three Spider Rider archers. really good. They got poison, they got a lot of arrows, really good. And then I've got two vanguards off to the side, my vanguard and my vanguard. I've got these nasty skulkers teamed up with these Dirkit squigs. There's the ROR swig hoppers. And then over on the other side, I've got another, basically the same thing, but just not the ROR. Nasty Skulkers, my plan was, to have him hopefully see these and maybe come out after them, and then the Nasty Skulkers could smoke bomb him and like hold him in place. But now that I'm sitting here looking at this, I'm like, he doesn't have any fast movers. Why would I do that? So let's go ahead and get started. Right away, he's going to be opening up with his Queen Bess, and this is going to hurt because, of course, it is. And it is going to... Oh, nice. That's the nice thing about, well, going up against Queen Bess is she's doesn't have the best accuracy, and because it's such a big lobbing shot, if I actually was good at microing, I could possibly avoid them. But that one hits right in the middle. It has a slow effect, and I think it has a leadership effect. So that's the nice thing about these Savage Orcs, though, is they're loosely packed, so it's not going to do as much damage. He opens up on my archers with his guns, and ooh, I got a nice cast into them. Brought them down to half. Those are my fanatics. Let's see here. Arcane Conduit. Is that it? Okay. And my goblins are with the no fanatics into the bombers. Didn't do so well. That one got into them, and of course comes into my own troops and starts killing them. He does the Damn Knight's errand, which is real good because low leadership, the ghostly units will definitely do well there. I got my archers in the back, just trying to go after infantry. I should have been focusing on other things. Brain Burster in the middle to knock out those guns, and I'm chasing in his bombers, which is really good. He's still firing his Queen Bess. I'm not sure. That still did pretty good, yeah. Oh, and then I did a Foot of Gork on this, and I thought that was going to just straight up delete it, but it didn't. So, and a nice Tide Call there to... I think that does damage, like a lot of damage over time. Use a Waaagh. I got my Squid Herd into his Scurvy Dogs, which is good, except for he's got infantry now behind me, which is not good. Oh, and then he's got... Oh, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome. This is what we came here for. Oh, that unit's just gone. At this point, I have my River Troll Hag starting to do Spirit Leech on Direfin. She's supposedly really weak against magic damage, so Spirit Leech, which is just direct damage, is just awesome. It didn't seem to do that much to her there, and now my River Troll Hag is getting bombed and shot and attacked by these things. Whatchamadiel. He got his guns. I don't know what happened here, but he needed to pull his guns back. Still, Queen Bess is still doing pretty well, routing troops. I got my Biggins on to this Gallons, this whatchamadiel, but they're so beat up right now. I don't know if their leadership is going to hold. That's the Rusty Arrows finally came back, and I started firing into that. And at this point, it's just kind of a war of attrition. I had forgotten the entire game. I had forgotten about his Effigy of the Git. I think I end up using it here soon, and I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. I wanted to hit another Night Goblin Fanatic cast right before they shattered. Still just didn't quite get into the Queen Bess. Basically, at this point, all my infantry is just giving up, and that's not good. He's got all these. Queen Bess is still going. His leader is still in good shape. He's still got half his half his health on this Whatchamadiel. Vorzac's doing okay, but yeah, now the leadership's trying to go. It's the balance of power starting to get away from me. Trying to crumble out those deckhand mobs, but again, because they're undead, they're going to hold for a while still. Yep, and this is not good. My Whatchamadiel is surrounded, and tried to bail her out with these night goblins, and then decided, no, I'm not going to do that. Savage Orc, I'm trying to get things together, but it's still just all over the place. You know, at this point, I really felt like it was over, and I wasn't getting the engagements I needed. Ooh, nice. Again, because they're spread out, that helped, but it's still too little, too late. We finally get this thing down low enough that it does its, you know, deckhand mob summon thing. Warzag gives up, and that's army losses. So yeah, that was a pretty good game. The Vanguard was probably not the best way to go there, because all of my Vanguard units were really low leadership, except for, of course, my Unbreakable. I've been bringing these Night Goblin Fanatic Archers instead of the Night Goblin Infantry, the melee infantry, and it's been kind of a mixed bag. I like them on the Archers. I saw someone else do this, but the problem with having in the melee unit is if you put the melee unit in, you get the first cast off, and then because they're not the strongest, like a lot of times they get beat up. And once you get down to that, past like 25% of their health, then or units or whatever, they can't do the cast. So I'd be like doing it once and then not being able to get the other ones. And I figure with the archers, you know, I pull them up to the front, I do the cast, and then I back them up and start firing. And then by the time like, you know, it's time to do the cast again, they're still going to be hopefully in good shape. It works sometimes. It's been working sometimes, and this time it definitely did not. Warzag did okay. The River Troll Hag didn't. I should have been using Spirit Leech the entire time on Direfin or Queen Bess. I used the Foot of Gork. I think I missed it on the Queen Bess, and I was hoping it would finish it off, but it didn't. Night Goblins didn't do much. All Skulkers, nothing. Biggins didn't even pay for themselves. Didn't do well. Rusty Arrows, Squig Hoppers, were they the big winners? Just nothing paid for themselves. It was a pretty bad loss for me there. Queen Bess, 1600. I'm not sure if that's enough to pay for herself, but still did really good. Gallows Giant that's respectable. Again, not sure how much they cost. Direfin, 100 kills, but still only 800. Gunnery White, I mean, this is basically just, you know, low infantry costs against low infantry costs, so nobody really got a lot of value, I guess. Gunners did okay. I think they're around 600 or 500. Scurvy Dogs, basically the big winners were these two. So, real quick before I want to test something. We'll see how it goes. Custom battle. Let's go Vampire Coast. And let's do... And I just want to test that. And then let's go Greenskins. Anywhere. Where are the Greenskins? There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to bring... Nope. Where is Warzag? We'll put him on his mountain just so I can keep him away from... Should test that too. And I'm just going to bring Foot of Gork and see how that does. And we'll bring the River Troll Hag too, and we'll do just the Death Magic, or the Spirit Leech. I want to see what is the best way to kill that thing. So we got Queen Bess, yeah. Let's start it up. I really wish one of the Greenskins characters had Arcane Conduit, but this is the perfect map. Okay, start. Where are you? Okay. So, if we go with him, oh, still don't have enough magic.
My spells are ready. Smash all in way.
Okay, let's try the effigy again. Let's see what that does. How much damage that does. Yeah, next to nothing. No good. But we do have the Foot of Gork. So I did it straight on this. Let me try on the actual artillery. Let's see if that breaks it. Nope. And did almost no damage. So that's basically what happened in game. Is it did a I put it straight on the infantry and the people manning it, and I did a lot of damage, but it just wasn't enough to break it. So let's try Spirit Leeching. See, that's doing a decent. Yeah, I should have probably just Spirit Leeched it the entire time. Let's go ahead and speed up. Oh, see, yep, 2 Spirit Leeches broke that. So that's the way to go. Okay, so I'll remember that for next time.